What's up, friends? Laura Alvarado here, and today I've got a speed training that some of you are frankly going to find controversial. Some of you are not going to like, but I am going to reveal some hard truths of what things were like then, what they're like now, and how you can use this to your advantage to grow and scale your gym. So without further ado, let's go over the death of the $1 million gym and the new model taking its place. So in 2019, things were pretty freaking awesome. Maybe you got a sword. Maybe you knew someone that got a sword, but it's not 2019 anymore. So let's review what happened and what's changed. First, I want to talk about how did the people who got swords or $1 million gym, how did they get there? Okay, number one thing that I saw happening over and over again, and I worked with so many clients who had the churn factory syndrome. So they got people in on a 6-week challenge, they collected the front end cash, and then they didn't stick around. Or maybe they converted to membership for 1, 2, 3 months, but again, they didn't stick around. So I worked with so many gym owners whose total revenue was in the $80,000 to $90,000 a month, but whose EFT was only $20,000 to $30,000. This is an extreme place of anxiety because every month you have to reset and sell more and more front-end offers because your EFT, in most of those cases, it didn't even cover their bills. So this is the churn factory syndrome. This is a really, really dangerous and stressful place to be in. Number 2 is the broke $1 million gym owner. So also seen this one a lot where you're making $1 million on paper, but how much are you really taking home to your family? Especially for those that are in that churn factory, your customer acquisition costs are so high. By the time you pay a sales team, by the time you're paying fulfillment, by the time you're paying for all of your Facebook ads. And so they were making a lot of money, but not really making any money. Ooh, burn, that one hurts. And this one, yikes, I see so many of this, drives me crazy. The failed gym owner turned coach. So being a gym owner didn't work out. It worked out for a while. Maybe they closed their gym and now they're a business coach for gym owners. So at the time, everyone was running 6-week challenges. And everybody was using the same ad copy or a couple different versions of ad copy that were floating around. And even people were sharing ad images. So they were the same gyms over and over again. Many gyms, like a competitor in your city, could have been using the exact same funnel, exact same landing page, exact same ad copy, exact same images as you, or maybe there were multiple gyms doing that same thing. Everybody was using the exact same lead follow-up scripts, right? Using the exact same automation with the same messages. So everything was the same. And for a while, this was working well. People were signing up challengers. They were getting some cash. Everything seemed to be chugging along until I noticed that the marketplace became really overcrowded with gyms all making the same promises. Everybody had a 6-week challenge or a 42-day detox that was promising big results. They all had great coaches. They all had accountability. They all had these meal plans. Everybody had the same cookie cutter stuff. It didn't matter if it was a CrossFit gym or a boot camp or kickboxing gym or whatever it was, right? And so what I noticed is that people started to become really skeptical and immune to the ads. When they saw gyms, even if they weren't using the exact same copy, but the promises were similar, it triggers oh, you're one of those places. Oh, I've been to a place like that and it didn't work out for me. So people became really, really skeptical, especially when you're making these big promises that you don't fulfill. It's like, yeah, I've tried it and it didn't work for me. So I'm just going to ignore these Facebook ads. I also noticed that leads stopped responding to automation. And part of this was because everybody was using similar automation, but not just in the fitness industry, everywhere. So when I first started using SMS, not very many businesses were utilizing it. Now, every business that I go to uses SMS. My chiropractor, my hairdresser, my dentist, my vet, every single business uses SMS. And so when it's very apparent that it's an automation, it's super easy to ignore. Like when a business sends me a text, I usually clear it out, but I don't respond to it. Now, when a friend sends me a message, I usually always respond. So I think that consumers nowadays are just realizing, hey, these are messages from a business, they're automation. I don't need to respond to it. There's not a real person at the other end of it. And it's really just categorizing your phone number as spam. The other thing that I noticed, and I talked about this in the beginning with that churn factory, is that the challengers, they weren't converting to long-term members. So people would either stick around for the challenge, they would stick around for a few months, 1, 2, 3, but they weren't really sticking around for the long term. And when I say long term, I'm talking like 8 months, 12 months, 18 months, something in that time frame, which is challenging because you're feeling like you're losing members as fast as you're signing them up, but also your customer acquisition costs are so high. Like it's expensive to bring on a new client. You have to pay for ads. You have to pay for someone to follow up with the leads. You have to sell them. It's more work for your coaches because there's new people coming in and out of the sessions. They have to answer more questions. Like all of this is expensive. And again, so you might feel like, hey, you are losing members as fast as you are signing them up, or you're just exhausted. Like running a challenge is hard work. Even just dealing with a new client is hard work versus if you have a client who's been with you 8, 12, 14 months, right? They're pretty dialed in. They don't take a lot of work. They get great results and they're super fun to train. So the other thing I noticed is, hey, a lot of these gym owners featured in these quote unquote gurus testimonials are suddenly broke, or they're all realtors. I see this one again. So maybe they were featured as a testimonial in a book, maybe they're a video testimonial. So where they were then is definitely not where they are now, which leads me to my cold, hard truths. Fact. 6-week challenges are not the right offer to attract prospects who are looking for a long-term gym solution. It's really important that you craft the right offer that attracts qualified prospects. I hear this so much. I'm getting tire kickers. I'm not getting qualified prospects. And that's not the targeting in your Facebook ad. It's not the demographic. It's the offer itself. Your offer is not designed to attract people who are wanting a long-term gym membership solution, who are ready to invest, pay you what you're worth, and stick around. So this offer, the 6-week challenge offer, is flawed in so many ways. Number one, it's free, so you're getting a lot of people who don't have any money. Number two, because of the frame of it, you're gonna lose 20 pounds in 6 weeks. The frame isn't long-term solution. The frame is, I'm gonna give you most, if not all, of the money that I have to invest in solving this problem to get the majority of the results that I need to get, 20 pounds. It doesn't set somebody up to think, hey, I'm gonna try this place out to see if I like it, to see if I wanna become a part of their community and join long-term. So if you're thinking to yourself, hey, I'm not getting qualified prospects, even if you're not running a 6-week challenge, it's probably not your targeting. It's your front end offer. It's your messaging that needs to change. You need to use the right offer to attract qualified prospects. Fact, front end cash means nothing. I see so many screenshots. I did 30K this month. I did 50K this month. Who cares? I don't certainly care. What I care about is EFT. Now, if you show me a screenshot of somebody who says I added 30K in EFT this month, now I'm freaking impressed. But somebody who just adds 30K in front end cash, that money is here today and gone tomorrow. Front end cash means nothing for stability, for health, for stress reduction. And it's all about the EFT, baby. All right, hard truth and fact. Explosive overnight growth never sticks. I like to call this the mushroom effect. So the mushroom effect is like a common terminology that's used in marketing. It's like those companies that blow up, that have an insane amount of sales, are here one day and gone the next. It's the companies that have consistent, predictable growth month after month are the ones that are here today and in the future and have a really healthy, sustainable, long-term business. And the reason why is the actions you have to take for explosive growth are harmful. They're harmful to you. They're harmful to your team. They're harmful to your family, your community, and your reputation. Like those of you who tried to have that explosive growth in 1 month, I guarantee you did things that totally stressed out and overworked and overwhelmed your team. I guarantee you did things that totally overwhelmed and stressed out your family. I guarantee you did things that stressed out your community. Like, do you think having 50 new people or 100 new people all at once is good for your long-term members? Do you think that makes a great experience for them? Did you make promises that you couldn't deliver on? Maybe not because your intentions weren't good, but when you have 100 people starting at once, can you really give them A+ service? And now that harms your reputation. So explosive overnight growth harms your business, doesn't work, and isn't sustainable for the long term. All right, fact. Revenue means nothing. Profits are everything. Again, I don't care how much revenue you do. I would rather have a business that only does $40K a month, but takes home $20K in profits than a business that does $83,000 a month and takes home 10. Like, profits feed the family, revenue feeds the ego. So stop bragging about revenue, stop listening to people who brag about revenue, and start looking at those people who brag about EFT and who brag about profit, because those are the ones that you want to say, hey, what are you doing to get there? How are you taking home so much money? Fact, the same marketing and automated follow-up that worked then isn't going to work now. The marketplace has changed. And it's not just in the fitness space, but it's overall. There are more and more people who are competing online. People are more savvy to automation, like we talked about. People are more savvy to Facebook ads. It's kind of like when I first started running Facebook ads back in 2015 or 16, people would be like, oh, I don't know, you just popped up in my newsfeed, right? But now the consumer understands they're looking at a paid advertisement. So the same tactics that were working to attract people and to convert them and get them to come in are not working like they used to. You have to use different tactics to connect with your prospect and to attract qualified prospects. Because if you keep doing the same old, if you keep making the same old promises, using the same landing pages and the same language and the same images, you're not going to get the same results. You're going to get worse results, and you're going to say, my cost per lead is too high. Facebook ads don't work. There's no qualified people. If you're saying any of those things to yourself, you need to take a cold, hard look at what you're doing in your marketing. All right. If you want to take home $20K a year from your gym, here's what you need to know. Okay. Now I'm going to give you a big hint. You don't have to be a doctor or a lawyer to take home that kind of cash. I love this story from one of my coaching clients, Brianna. She said, Laura, I have to tell you something. This is an awesome day. My sister is a doctor. She spent so many years in school, has so much student loans, and I'm making more money than her. And I didn't have to spend all of those hours going to school or spend all that money on student loans. So this is really, really exciting formula. All right, pillar number 1. You have to have the right client attracting offer. We talked about this a little bit before, but you want to attract qualified prospects. You want an offer that's designed to attract people who are looking for a long-term gym solution and who are ready to invest in it. And it's very important, if you're saying to yourself, hey, I'm not getting qualified leads, that you stop looking at the targeting and the demographics and you start looking at the offer itself. So how can you design a better offer designed to attract the best quality leads, not just any leads? Yeah, I can put up an offer for a free 6-week challenge and attract a lot of leads for a cheap cost, but are those really the right type of leads for me and my business? So you need to have the right client attracting offer. Pillar number 2 is you need to install close by chat. So that automation is not working very well. What's working well is personal connection. Number 1, picking up the phone and calling. Oh my goodness, you got to call leads. Listen, if you want leads to come in, you got to pick up the phone and call them. Number 2, you need to send messages that sound like you're talking to a friend. When I get an automated message from my chiropractor, I don't respond. It's easy for me to ignore it. But when my sister texts me, I always text her back. So if you can change your automation to sound like it's from a friend and then have a real person to jump in the conversation, you are going to schedule far more leads to actual appointments, to trials, to people coming in than if you purely rely on automated messages. So you need to install Close by Chat. It needs to sound like it's coming from a friend, and you need to start picking up the phone and calling those leads, baby. All right, pillar number 3, sell the reserved membership. If you need to hard close someone, you have issues. Anytime you hard close someone, they generally don't stick around. They generally aren't as invested. They generally have buyer's remorse. Of course, there's exceptions to every rule. But when you use what I call the reserved membership, and I have a whole training on this, I have the exact scripts, you can go back and watch this. It makes it super simple for people to sign up. It's a super simple process that even your admin can do, or somebody who has zero sales skills. But what's cool about it is it changes the frame. So instead of thinking I'm here to do this 6-week challenge and lose 20 pounds, the frame is I'm here to see if I like it. I'm here to see if this is a good fit. I'm here to see if I want to move forward with a membership that I reserved. So it changes the frame of the trial. Sorry, my computer was about to die there. It changes the frame of the trial, which actually gets you more conversions. So if you haven't already watched my training on the reserve membership, check that out. Number 4, you need to focus on retention. So I heard one of the big fitness gurus say that it's normal for a gym to have a 10% attrition rate. If you have a 10% attrition rate, you have major problems. If you have 5% attrition rate, that's something you need to take a hard look at. So anything over 5%, it becomes nearly impossible to scale. You will always feel like you're losing members as fast as you're signing them up. So if you want predictable, steady EFT growth, you need to have an attrition rate that is 2 to 3%. Now, I'm not going to get into all of the ins and outs of how you do that because this training's going on for a long time. But if you're not tracking attrition, you should start tracking it now. If you are over 5% or at 5%, you need to take a serious look at what is causing that and try and remedy it. If you want to scale, meaning consistently add EFT every single month, and I'm not just talking about selling new memberships, I'm talking about increasing your EFT every single month, you need to have that attrition rate around 2 to 3%. Pillar number 5, you need to go from owning your job to real entrepreneurship. Like, are you in your gym because you have to be there, or are you there because you want to be there? If you suddenly stop training sessions, would people be like, oh, I only like to train with Laura, she's the best. Or this gym's really gone downhill because Laura isn't here. Like, are you the only one that can train kick-ass sessions? Are you the only one who can sell? What happens if you took off a month? Like, would your gym still be running without you? And so when you're in the day-to-day, you never get to work on your business. You're always working inside your business. Like, imagine if you were in your gym because you wanted to be there. You were there on your terms, not because you had to teach a class or call leads or meet with a sales appointment, but because you actually wanted to be there at that exact moment. Like, that's the complete freedom of your business. And you have the freedom again to work on those high-level tasks that are going to get you to scale faster when you are operating in a place of true entrepreneurship, when you're leading your team, when you have set expectations about what should happen, and when you really leveled up your team so that everybody's as good as you, so that the client experience is awesome whether you're there or not. Pillar number 6, the profit maker blueprint. Number 1, you got to stop focusing on revenue and you need to start focusing on profits. How can I increase profits? Do I need to decrease costs? Do I need to look at efficiency, like conversion efficiency? So where are the holes in my conversion process? How can I make this process less expensive? So sometimes that means getting cheaper leads. Sometimes it means converting more of them. So you really need to start looking and understanding the numbers of your business so that you can have a more profitable business. So I wanted to use that example like I gave you. And in fact, what I'm seeing is most of the gym owners who are around 40K are taking home A 40K a month EFT are taking home 200,000. They're taking home that doctor or lawyer salary from their business. Like, who cares if you have $1 million gym? What I care about is how much are you taking home? And like, what would it mean to your family if you were constantly taking home 200K per year? Like, that would be huge if you were taking home 20K per month. So a gym that is doing 40K in EFT, their expenses are probably around 24K a month, depending on where you are. That would give you an annual revenue of about 500K with a 40% profit margin, which is very, very doable. That means that you take home profits for your family, $200,000 per year. All right, I would love to know in the comments, what did you love about this training? What did you hate about this training? Did I offend you? Are you fired up? Are you digging what I'm saying? Let me know in the comments down below. And I look forward to seeing you back in another speed training with more tips to grow and scale your fitness business. Bye.